The United States has long been a symbol of opportunity, freedom, and the pursuit of a better life for countless individuals around the world. As a result, the United States has a diverse immigrant population that contributes to the nation's cultural richness and economic vitality. But for many, making the journey from their homelands can be long, perilous, and often fatal. As we explore the phenomenon of global migration to the USA, in this video, we'll look into the journeys of some of those brave enough to take a gamble on the US. We'll explore some of the reasons people leave everything behind in their country of origin and risk their lives on their quest for a brighter future. Welcome to the Global Insight. The pursuit of the American dream continues to be a powerful motivator for individuals from diverse corners of the globe. The statistics highlight the significant contributions of immigrants from Mexico, India, China, the Caribbean islands, the Philippines, El Salvador, Vietnam, and many other countries to the rich tapestry of the United States. As these migrants undertake their journeys, they often face formidable challenges and risks. Understanding the routes they take and the reasons behind their migration is essential for policymakers, researchers, and society as a whole. It prompts us to reflect on the importance of compassion, comprehensive immigration policies, and support systems that can help make these journeys safer and more humane for those who seek a better life in the land of opportunity. So, the burning question: why do people migrate? One of the most compelling reasons that propels individuals to leave their countries is the promise of economic opportunity. In many countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa, widespread poverty and lack of employment opportunities force people to seek better prospects abroad. The United States, with its strong economy and potential for upward mobility, becomes an irresistible magnet. According to the Migration Policy Institute, in 2020, approximately 10% of the US workforce was composed of immigrants, contributing to the nation's economic growth. For many migrants, the journey is a calculated risk, a bet on a future where they can provide for their families and escape the shackles of poverty. In regions plagued by violence, persecution, and instability, the quest for safety is a driving force behind migration. Many individuals, such as Carlos from Honduras or Fatima from Syria, are compelled to leave their homelands to escape the horrors of war, gang violence, or political persecution. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, by the end of 2020, there were approximately 26 million refugees worldwide, many of whom embarked on long and perilous journeys in search of a haven. The United States, with its legacy of providing refuge, becomes an aspirational destination for those fleeing danger and persecution. Parents everywhere share a common dream: to provide the best possible future for their children. This dream often drives families to undertake arduous journeys to the United States, seeking better educational opportunities and a safer environment for their offspring. The Pew Research Center reports that in recent years, a significant number of immigrants to the US are parents who hope to secure a brighter future for their children. Education is seen as the key to breaking the cycle of poverty, and the promise of quality schooling motivates many families to set out on their long and challenging journeys. For some migrants, the desire to be reunited with family members already living in the United States is the driving force behind their decision to embark on this arduous journey. Separated by borders and oceans, they yearn to be with their loved ones and build a life together. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, acknowledges this powerful motivator, with family reunification being one of the pillars of U.S. immigration policy. It underscores the importance of preserving family bonds and the unity of loved ones, drawing countless individuals into the fold of the American dream. Although migrants come from all over the world for a chance at life in America, which countries are those migrants coming from? Here are some of the countries that provide the largest numbers of people trying to get across the border. They are Mexico. With its shared border and strong economic ties, Mexico has consistently been the largest source of migrants to the USA. According to data from the Migration Policy Institute, as of 2020, there were approximately 11.2 million Mexican-born immigrants living in the United States. India. India ranks second on the list of countries with the most migrants seeking the American dream. The US Department of Homeland Security reported that in 2020, there were over 2.8 million Indian-born immigrants residing in the United States. In addition, the US sees many more migrants from Nepal attempting access, with over 200,000 trying each year. China. China is another significant contributor to US immigration. According to the Migration Policy Institute, as of 2020, there were approximately 2.4 million Chinese-born immigrants in the United States. Philippines. The Philippines is well represented amongst US immigrants, with the US Department of Homeland Security reporting over 2.2 million Filipino-born immigrants in 2020. El Salvador. In recent years, countries in Central America have seen a notable rise in migration to the United States. El Salvador stands out as one of the leading contributors to this trend, with approximately 2.2 million Salvadoran-born immigrants in the USA as of 2020. Vietnam. The Vietnamese diaspora in the United States is significant, with over 1.5 million Vietnamese-born immigrants reported by the US Department of Homeland Security in 2020. Migrants from these and other countries embark on journeys to the United States, navigating various routes often marked by perilous challenges. Some common routes include land border routes. Mexico to the US southwest border. Mexican migrants often cross the US-Mexico border on foot or by using human smugglers, facing dangers such as harsh terrain and violence along the way, particularly through the Daran Gap. More on this particular route later in the video. Canada to the US northern border. Some migrants from Asia, Africa, and the Middle East use Canada as a transit route to enter the United States from the north, often attempting to claim asylum. Taking a sea route is very difficult when trying to access the shores of the United States. First of all, the waters are vast surrounding the states and range from tropical to Arctic. Using a vessel of any kind will likely bring you to the attention of the United States Coast Guard, who are particularly active around the border regions. Caribbean to Florida. Migrants from the Caribbean, particularly Cuba and Haiti, have attempted sea journeys to reach the US state of Florida, often undertaking perilous voyages on small boats or rafts. Central America to the Gulf of Mexico. Some Central American migrants have attempted to reach the United States via the Gulf of Mexico, often facing treacherous conditions and human trafficking networks. Many migrants from countries worldwide choose to travel to the United States via commercial air routes, using legal visas or other means, often for purposes such as education, work, or family reunification. This is a massive undertaking for anyone, no matter where they are from. But at the heart of this story are people from all walks of life and from differing situations, generally difficult beyond our comprehension, often horrific beyond our imagination. Many witness their families struggle to make ends meet. Most dream of providing a better future for their loved ones. The promise of economic opportunity, education, and a chance at a brighter tomorrow compels them to leave behind the familiar comforts of home. Every individual migrant story is mirrored by countless others who yearn to escape poverty and create a legacy of prosperity for their families. All migrants are liable to face challenges that test their spirit and determination. The perils of violence are a constant threat, as criminal organizations and human traffickers prey on vulnerable migrants. Dangerous terrain, including jungles, mountains, and deserts, push them to their limits, all for the promise of a better life awaiting them. One of the most harrowing chapters of any emigrant's journey that travel northward through Colombia will be navigating the infamous Daran Gap, a dense, unforgiving jungle in the Isthmus of Panama that spans the border between Colombia and Panama. This is a notorious route for migrants, fraught with danger, including threats from wildlife, harsh weather, and the constant fear of being lost. It's known as the Gap on Panama's Darien Isthmus because it's the only missing section of around 60 miles on the Pan-American Highway that stretches from Alaska to Argentina. Hundreds of thousands of migrants from across the world, including as far as Afghanistan and parts of Africa, cross the perilous terrain en route to the US border. Surviving the Daran Gap is a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who seek refuge in the land of dreams. Although over 250,000 people are thought to have made the crossing through the gap, many don't make it. The IOM believe that the current numbers of those who have perished may be much higher than the small recorded amount of people who have died or disappeared in the jungle. While many migrants undertake the journey independently or with the support of legitimate immigration processes, others fall victim to human traffickers who exploit their vulnerability and desperation. Human traffickers play a dark and lucrative role in the global migration landscape. They often employ various tactics to gain the trust of their victims and lure them into dangerous situations. Here are some of the common tactics used by human traffickers. Traffickers often promise migrants safe passage, job opportunities, or assistance with immigration processes in exchange for large sums of money. Traffickers are often part of a vast smuggling network that transports migrants across borders illegally. They provide transportation, documents, and guidance, but at a steep price. Some traffickers build trust by forming deceptive relationships with their victims. They may pose as friends, family members, or romantic partners, exploiting the trust and emotional bonds that develop. Traffickers use threats, violence, and coercion to control their victims. This can include threats against the migrants themselves or their loved ones back home. When a refugee or asylum seeker reaches the United States, their journey is by no means over. Depending on their individual circumstances, they will need to enter the asylum process, which is a challenging process in itself. Here they can expect several key steps and procedures to unfold as follows. When they arrive in the United States, migrants and asylum seekers may undergo an initial screening process. This usually takes place at a port of entry, such as an airport, border crossing, or immigration detention facility. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, or other immigration officials conduct this screening. During the initial screening, migrants will be asked about their reasons for seeking asylum and their fear of persecution or harm in their home country. If they express a credible fear of persecution or torture, they are allowed to continue with the asylum process. Depending on individual circumstances, asylum seekers may be detained by immigration authorities while their case is pending. Detention is more likely if there are concerns about a flight risk or security issues. Alternatively, some asylum seekers may be released on parole or granted bond provided that they meet certain criteria, such as having a sponsor or a family member in the US and demonstrating that they don't pose a flight risk or a threat to public safety. Asylum seekers must complete and submit a document known as a Form I-589, Application for Asylum and Withholding of Removal. This form serves as their official request for asylum and provides details about their persecution claims, personal background, and reasons for seeking asylum. After submitting the asylum application, applicants are typically scheduled for a biometrics appointment. Here, they can provide fingerprints, photographs, and other biographical information to conduct background checks. Next, the US Citizen and Immigration Service conducts an asylum interview with the asylum seeker, where an asylum officer will review the applicant's case, ask questions about their persecution claims, and assess the credibility of their fear of persecution. Asylum seekers are encouraged to submit any supporting evidence for their case, such as documents, witness statements, and country condition reports to strengthen their claim of persecution. The US Citizenship and Immigration Service will make a decision on the asylum application based on the information provided during the interview and the evidence submitted. They may grant asylum, deny the application, or refer to an immigration judge for further proceedings. The asylum process can be complex and lengthy, often taking several months or even years to reach a final decision. During this time, asylum seekers may be eligible for certain benefits, such as work authorization while their cases are pending. As we peel back the layers of the migration phenomenon to the United States, we discover a complex tapestry woven from dreams of economic prosperity, safety, education, and family bonds. The long and perilous journey undertaken by these individuals reflects their unwavering determination and belief in the promise of a better life. The reasons that compel migrants to leave their homelands are as diverse as the people themselves, but one common thread runs through their stories: a burning hope for a brighter future. As we strive to understand their journeys, let us also remember that compassion and empathy can help to create a world where such journeys are safer and more humane, where the pursuit of dreams doesn't come at the cost of perilous risks. That's it once again from the Global Insight. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our great content, where each time we bring you a topic worth thinking about. Until next time though, stay tuned.